Right now, I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids. I train 4 days a week. I do jiu-jitsu once a week. I'm writing a book. And I make 21 pieces of content a week. You might be thinking, where do I find the time? How do you have the energy? And what makes you have the confidence, courage, and self-belief to think that you have the capabilities to do that? I'm going to teach you. The first thing you need to do is pick your destination. Your destination is your goal. Your destination is your dream life. That's the thing that you want to live in because you don't want to keep living the way you're living now. Once you choose your destination, you need to remove distractions that don't lead to that destination. See, most people have a lot of spare time outside their regular job and away from their kids, but they choose to spend their spare time on distractions. They doom scroll on Instagram. They spend hours on Facebook. They're watching Netflix. They're playing video games. Or they're out drinking and partying. And by the time they sit down and they think about what do they actually want to do with their life, they're so burnt out from distractions and they're so burnt out from their job that now they feel helpless. So what you need to do is you need to figure out, is this thing necessary or does it align with my destination? Does this align with my future? Does this match up with what I want to do with my future? If you do that, you will find that you have a lot of time. I mean, you can just pull out your phone right now and go into settings and then check how much time and minutes you spent on each app. And just right in there and then, you'll see that you waste a lot of time on distractions. So what you can do is use something that I call the 5 bricks. Now, the 5 bricks is a checklist I have in my phone. And these 5 things I get done before anything. So for me, it's write my book, post every day, reply to comments every day, and edit videos every day. And as long as I keep doing those 5 things every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, at least I know I'm building towards it. Now, why do we distract ourselves? Why do we chase distractions? See, in order for you to want to distract yourself, there must be something that you're running from, right? Because why else would you want to distract yourself? There must be something uncomfortable that you don't want to face. It is our regular job. It's not the kids, it's not the family. A lot of the times people will think it's the stress of having kids or the stress of the cost of living. Excuse me. But it's actually our job. I've been there myself. I used to work in this construction job where not only was I underpaid, but I was overworked. I was doing 10 to 12 hour days, and every time that I would complain about doing overtime, they would say to me, "Oh, at least you're getting paid for it." But at what cost? I leave the job with no energy, no motivation, and all I want to do when I get home is what? Distract myself. That is the cause of most of our distractions. We have a job that becomes our life, but our job is not our life. When you really peel back the layers, you realize that we have been programmed to live and work and die for a company that we don't even own. I mean, you got young men out here in their early 20s digging holes for 12 hours a day, and they get home and they're too tired to do anything. So what do? Drink alcohol, watch TV, go to sleep, wake up, repeat. Go to work all day, dig holes for 12 hours, come home. What do? They can't do anything because they have no energy to do anything. You really need to consider, is your current job serving you or is it sabotaging you? Is the job you got allowing you to live life outside your work? Is your job allowing you the energy in the mind and the body to chase your purpose, to chase your dreams, to be with your kids, to have the energy to do anything? And if the answer is no, then you need to change your job. Because as I said before, you are working, living and breathing for a company you don't even own. And I don't want to hear that bullshit, or I get paid well for it. Money doesn't replace time. Only idiots believe that. Once your time's gone, you're gone. And before you know it, you spend your whole life working your ass into the ground for a company you don't even own. And now you're 65, Your body's broken, your mind's broken, you're defeated, and you realize, fuck, I just wasted my whole life working for a company that will replace me tomorrow. Your life is more important than your job. If your job's taking too much away from your life, you need to change your job. Another problem we have is time management. Now, I came from an environment where time management wasn't even a thought process. It wasn't even something that I even thought about or was told to think about. I mean, I was always hurried up, get out the door, go to school, hurry. But I was never taught how to structure time and how to use time instead of killing time. And there is a deeper psychological reason behind time management. Most people that have bad time management isn't a lack of skill or a lack of commitment. It's because they don't value life. If you don't value your opportunity to live, then you don't care about time. And when you see people who are always late, always rushing, and you look at these people, and I know this because I was this, they don't value themselves and they don't value the opportunity to breathe. So time to them isn't something they're worried about because deep down, they don't care that they exist. Now, because I have a job, kids, and I do this and I do that, and my life is pretty hectic, I like to set alarms on my phones. So I have alarms for everything. I have alarms not just to wake up. I have alarms to remind myself to post. I have alarms to remind myself for appointments. I have alarms for everything. Like my phone is going off all day, every day. And if you have a phone, and I'm assuming that you have a phone because you're watching this, use your alarm system to advantage. Make your life become like clockwork. Make your life become so structured that you have no way to have bad time management. So once you remove distractions and you create better time management, and then you go out and maybe you change your job, now it's time to become confident. That's the world's biggest problem, is that people have great ideas, people have big visions, people have big dreams, but they don't have the confidence to do it. And the confidence they're looking for, or the confidence they're waiting for, never arrives or never installs, is because they don't understand confidence. I was someone that was very insecure, very unconfident, and I had no self-belief whatsoever. I mean, you think about it. If you're a young boy or a young girl and your mother goes elsewhere, your father goes elsewhere, unconsciously and subconsciously, you will develop a low self-worth. And that's what happened to me. The only reason why I became confident is because I actually understand it now. You will never become confident without courage. Most people talk about confidence. Most people talk about self-belief, but they don't understand the process that goes along with it. Confidence and self-belief are nothing without courage. First is courage, right? What is courage? Courage is your ability to walk through pain, fear, and discomfort. What's the opposite of courage? The opposite of courage is a coward. A coward will avoid pain, fear, and discomfort. It's a conscious decision you make in the moment to push through the discomfort. Once you do that, then what happens next? Confidence. What is confidence? Confidence isn't a thought, it's a feeling, right? When someone says, I'm confident, that doesn't mean they believe in themselves. It just means that they feel that they can get the job done. And a lot of people think that confidence is the key to everything. No, it's actually not. Confidence is not the key. Self-belief is the key. Now, where does self-belief come from? Confidence. Courage is a decision that leads to the feeling of confidence, which then creates the thought of belief. I'll give you an example so you can visualize it in your mind. The first time you ride a bike, you were nervous, but you made the decision to get on the bike anyway. That's courage. You start pedaling, the bike starts shaking, it's moving around, you're really nervous, you think you're gonna fall over, but the more you keep doing it, the more comfortable you feel. That's confidence. And after enough practice, you just keep riding the bike, and before you know it, you don't even question if you can ride the bike, you just know you can. That's belief. Courage is the decision that creates the feeling of confidence, which then leads to the thought of belief. So if you don't have confidence, and it doesn't matter what it is, like whatever you are unconfident at, as soon as I say to you, where do you lack confidence? The first thought that comes to your head is going to probably be the right thought. All you have to do is, whatever that is, have the courage to take action. That's it. That's confidence. You don't have to go hire some life coach or whatever the fuck they do these days. Just take action. Walk through the pain, walk through the fear, and walk through the discomfort. And keep doing it and 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 doing it. And eventually you will start to feel confident. And then keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And eventually, bang, now you believe in yourself. Another thing I want to talk about before I finish up is the fear of failure and the fear of judgment. Now, just because you're confident and you believe in yourself doesn't mean you won't feel the fear of failure and the fear of judgment, right? Which is basically the fear of making mistakes and the fear of people's opinions. Now, the reason why you'll have the fear of failure is because you think that people will laugh at you if you don't succeed, or you believe that you won't succeed. And the fear of failure inside of you is a psychological attack on yourself. So if you fail, two things happen. You think people will laugh, or secondly, it will reaffirm your belief, if that's a word, reaffirm. It will reaffirm your belief that you already believe that you aren't good enough. So you stay in the comfort zone and you don't bother to try because you don't want those two things to exist. Now, what is the fear of people's opinions? The fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is something that everybody battles with. And if you care too much what people think, it's probably because you have a low self-worth. So then it's your job to go and work on yourself and add value to who you are. So therefore, you won't care what people think. Because it's pretty hard to care what people think when you know who you are, you know what you're about, and you know what you're capable of. The best thing you can do is accept that people will judge you for trying to chase a greater life. The way I look at people's opinions is the same way I look at death. I know it's going to happen. I can't control it, so I don't worry about it. They're going to happen. Just accept it and move on with it. And accept failure as a part of the process. Because once you fear people's opinions, they'll control you. And once you fear failure, it will control you. But if you accept people's opinions and don't allow them to bring you down, and if you accept failure as a part of the process, you stop seeing failure as an attack on who you are and more of an attack on how you're doing it. Accept it, don't fear it, walk towards it. I'll wrap this video up like this. If you don't act now, when will you act? How much longer will you wait? What age will you be before you wake up to yourself and say, all right, I actually want to live life on my terms now. I don't care what people think. And I don't care if I fail. Because you know what? I want to live my life and I'm going to die trying to do that. You would rather be a person who takes the risks and fails than a person who doesn't try and still fails. Because at least you will die knowing that you tried. Because if you don't try, you will die knowing that you're a failure.